Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Yes, good morning, good day, viewers around the world. You are welcome. You are welcome to our Friday SSM Friday Global Update. We give international news updates. And I'm here with you, Mark Godwin Iweajunwa. I'm here with Olayinka Raji from Lagos, Nigeria. Olayinka Raji, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers across the globe. I'm very, very well. I'm glad to be here again today.
It's good to see you. I know you long to be back in Ghana. Reggie, we need you in Ghana to do the election updates. Will that be possible?
Very, very possible. Very, very possible.
Yes.
In fact, you just read my mind.
Okay. Anyway, you are welcome to this beautiful morning of SSM Friday updates. A lot to discuss here, but let's start with before we go into international news. Let's start with our Nigerian news. It's not local news; it's just Nigerian update. We saw what happened during the week. New 7 ministers were added. 10 of them were reshuffled, and about 5 of them were taken out for poor performances. That was some argument there, Raji. Now tell us, how was it? We saw the minister of employment, foreign affairs, minister of state for foreign affairs, the wife of the late Ojukwu. She was there. Yeah, we saw also Mohammed Dan Yagdi. He comes in now as the Minister for Development and Housing. So do you think this new batch will bring a change to what is happening economically and progress to our country, this new batch of ministers?
Well, is it the most impacting ministries? The Ministry of Economics, Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Petroleum, the Ministry of Power, have no changes in those areas. So I don't see how much impact the new ministers will make in the affairs, in the things that actually affect the daily lives of the citizens.
Okay. So the daily life is what we are concerned about. Daily life of people
than anything else.
Yes. But the little thing they do behind could also affect the people. For example, the Minister of Housing, Housing and Urban Development is a key post too, a key position that looks into housing. More housing units should be built in Nigeria. More. I mean, it's never enough because our numbers are increasing, but they leave that to individuals, and these individuals rip people off. Yes. So don't you think that the housing man should be looked into, more government budget on that housing and urban development? That's a key place too. And I know that it will affect people directly too. Yes, go ahead.
You know, we keep on saying that government has no business in business. And then we want government to build more houses. See, there's some form of contradiction here,
Yes.
But
Okay.
as we said earlier, the things that really
Mm-hmm.
directly impact on the lives of
The people,
majority of Nigerians, which is a daily life, which is a daily existence,
daily
those ministries were
existence.
not touched. Yeah, so it means
Okay.
then that
Okay.
we are the T-pain dose may not rise, but at least with the T-pain we are taking now will be consistent.
T-pain dose may not rise, but the T-pain will.
Yeah.
You people brought out that acronym, that phrase, T-pain.
Yes.
Yes, let our
Is it?
viewers know what that means. Mm-hmm.
It means the
Tinubu
pain
pain.
being brought in by Tinubu pain. Yes, it comes in capsules and syrups. So your choice.
It comes in capsules and syrup.
And syrups in liquid form. You know, I love this country. I love the people. That in spite of all
They
the
make.
pains that we are going through, we have found a way
Mhm.
to make ourselves happy. Otherwise we'll be dead. We'll be dead. I love the
Hmm.
humor that
Otherwise,
Nigerians bring to their lives. Yes.
otherwise we'll be dead. Otherwise, a lot of people
Yes.
won't be alive again. Oh dear,
Again.
those are some serious. Mhm. Those are some serious things to say. Anyway, also let's look more into this reshufflement, ministerial reshufflement. Um, also, I want to commend the Jumoke Oduwole. Jumoke Oduwole, she comes in now as I think
Trade.
that's is it tourism? What's that?
No,
What's
I
that
think it's
place?
trade. I think it's trade
Trade.
or
Sorry, trade.
trade and
Yes.
industries. Yes.
Now that's a key. That's a key too. Those
Yes.
days for me also, viewers, if you're seeing the screen, these are the new ministers on board, 7 of them. You can see them on the screen from the left to the down to the right. So Oduwole Jumoke, trade matters, Raji, because
Yes.
the number of trading affects people directly too. Why I'm saying this is I don't
Yes.
want it to look like it's just that two major ones you said that I mean trade affects the people. Nigeria, Lagos, most parts of Nigeria, Kanu, Lagos, Port
Mm,
are known to be real business hub for a lot of things. So
mm.
what happens in those places affects economy, people's daily lives. What do you say, Jumoke Uduwole? What do you
I,
say about?
I hope she will have impact on interregional trade. I went by road from Nigeria to Ghana, and I saw
Mhm,
what our traders face on that route.
on
Multiple
that route?
taxation from every point, and then they get their
Mhm.
worst treatment when they're about to enter Nigeria.
You see,
So
you see
I hope
now,
some ease will be brought onto that trade. Yes.
you see some ease will be brought onto that trade because, um, and we're not yet producing. Uh, we're not yet producing, which is a disadvantage to us because
Mm.
we're just consuming. I heard even what we heard is when cargo ship brings goods to Nigeria, uh, they come
They go
back
back
to
empty.
empty. Imagine that, Raj.
They go
They
back
go
empty.
back
Yes.
empty,
Yes.
and that's a shame because normally most countries, when a cargo good go to a country, it brings other things to that other the alternative country, the other side, and that's how business
So
move. That's how business thrive.
so so so
Yes.
let so let me give you just one example. Let me give you just one example.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of yam that is exported from Ghana to diaspora is is
Mm-hmm.
is in billions of dollars.
Okay.
the Ghanaian government has made it so easy for you to bring your perishables to the port and for it to be shipped almost immediately. If you
Okay.
dare bring a container load of yam to a Nigerian port, they will delay it so much that by the time your export is about to leave, all the yam inside will have been cooked and spoiled. So that by the time they get to their destination abroad, they are beyond redemption, and therefore they are essentially trashed. It is a wicked process that the people at the customs in Nigerian ports visit upon Nigerian exporters. If you take your yam to a Ghanaian port, within 3 days your export will be on its way. If you took the same amount of yam to a Nigerian port, in 1 month your product will still be at the port. So let's look at that. I hope the trade and industry minister will look into that and help to fast track the process.
Jumoke, if you're hearing that, this is coming from somebody that understand, that goes on that route, does business on that route. So Raji knows what he's saying. So all of these inputs, discussion could help them in their offices. I hope they pick these lines. Raji, there is also the minister for they created a ministry for livestock development. Livestock development, and we have the Mukta Miaha. Mukta Miaha is the minister for livestock. That's the man extreme, the extreme bottom right. If you're watching from the screen, it will be extreme bottom right. Yes, correct. So Mukta Miaha. Livestock business is big business, but when we see farmers complaining that livestock grazing, the cow grazing is affecting their own crops, their farming, we see that the people don't understand. I mean, the whole thing now becomes trash that way, because both items, the crops from the farm and the livestock from animal husbandry, both items are vital in for our consumption and in that business. So do you think this man Mukhtar is going to bring a succor to that aspect, raising farmers doing planting their seed at the right time, and him also informing the government of more security for farmers with the outrage of bandits? What do you say about that ministry, Raji?
You can see that a lot, at least one ministry was a few ministries were merged. You can see tourism, creative economy, and all things were merged. Because and then the Ministry of Sports and social whatever was probably taken as a department. Ministry of Livestock should be under the Ministry of Agric. And if you are going to do, it should be a directorate under the Ministry of Agric. If you are going to do anything, it should be done under the Ministry of Agric. I see the Ministry of Livestock being created as a capitulation on the part of the president to the Fulani herdsmen blackmail. I think the president was a coward in creating that ministry. That ministry should exist as a directorate under the Ministry of Agric. It shouldn't be a separate directorate, separate ministry. No.
Raji, this is what you just said now is putting out another deeper side to this discussion. So it should be a directorate, and remember the reform plan of reducing governance. Reducing governance, we don't see that play much in this whole new arrangement, because we've been complaining of our governance being too bogus, being too expensive to run, too large. and we're creating more instead of reducing, like, and cutting, cutting them down, merging them into agencies, into directorate, like you've said. So, who are these advisors? Who are those giving this advice and making it look cumbersome? Anyway, we have that ministry there, and like you said, maybe to appease the northerners, livestock, but livestock development is we live on eating meat. Nigerians eat meat a lot. Our meat consumption is big, so maybe with that aspect, they decided to create a ministry to look into that. Maybe
all the cows in Nigeria combined are not up to half what is produced in the Holland or Netherlands, and the size of Netherlands is about a tenth of the size of Nigeria, and so is their population. So don't tell me that we eat a lot of meat.
Interesting. Yeah, but because I know Ogunfe and the brocotor and the cow leg and the shewu, these are like delicacies in many places. I mean, people don't go without all of this. So suya also, suya. So if we have this as some of our delicacy, and you take
At
note,
the
you just
moment,
talked of Holland. Holland is not half of our, Holland is not even 1/3 of our number. Holland is about 43 million. I think about 40 million. So
yes,
go
and they
ahead.
produce more cows. They produce more cows and cattle than the whole amount of, and every year, in fact, every year the amount of milk they produce from their cattle, the amount of meat they produce and export, Nigeria cannot even begin to catch them. So you see, if we have decided to, and then with the era of this T-pain, I can assure you that meat consumption has so reduced that people are probably looking at the pictures of the goats they killed last year as a solace that yes, there was a time that they could afford a goat, but now the T-pain has eaten so deep that people, if you see a piece of meat, you thank God for His mercies.
If you see a piece of meat, you thank God for His mercies. Viewers, you are hearing
The
live
last Ileya,
discussion.
sorry, the last Ileya festival, was an eye opener to the suffering that people are going through. You see, to kill a ram at Ileya is a bounden duty on almost every Muslim. Most Muslims could not afford to kill a ram. Most of them probably went with a chicken, or they had to do a crowdfunding to buy one goat to share among 10 people. That's how much T-pain has.
Crowdfunding to buy one goat. Is this not interesting?
Yes.
Oh boy, Raji, you're telling us some real interesting. I'm enjoying your discussion here now. Okay,
Thank
Raji.
you.
Anyway, that those ministers have been put out. I think has the Senate passed? Has they been screened and sworn in? Not yet. That will happen
Their
soon.
names have just been sent. Their names have just been sent to the House.
Yes, let's look at one interesting one before we go, and that's the Minister for State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca.
Okay.
Bianca is the Minister for State. That's the wife of Ojukwu. Now, yes, I know she's been living in France for some time now, and I think she has seen the diaspora, Nigerian in diaspora, and factors that affect us. But making her the Minister of State might reduce the experience she bring in. she might not bring all of that what she needs to, because she's just a minister of state. That's like the vice. Don't you think that it would have just been the minister instead of minister of state? I mean,
just
mhm.
because she has been living in France, and that is enough for him.
uh,
The
well,
minister,
no,
the minister,
uh-huh.
the minister for foreign affairs should actually be a career diplomat.
Okay.
Career diplomat, somebody who has full training in diplomacy and who will be able to represent
Hmm.
Nigeria much better and interface with other
Okay.
foreign ministry. Yes, not just a political
Yes.
appointment.
Not just a political, but it has always been a political appointment, big brother.
Unfortunately,
Because yes, because the man there now, Tuga is the minister for foreign affairs. I don't know if the studio can bring up this picture. But I don't see much impact he's playing in that sector. Tuga, and what I know is he also lived in Germany. He's also like a Nigerian in diaspora. But for example, why I'm saying this is NITCOM is another body, it's an agency, a directorate under that should be under foreign affairs. You know, we said this last time. But
yes.
NITCOM runs like an individual thing. NITCOM is not, for me, what I'm as I observe them, is not parlaying with the foreign affairs office. So that makes this man Tudga, that makes him look redundant in what he does. Yusuf Metama
But but
Tudga, that's his name. Tell the hand,
but
go
but
ahead.
but, but NITCOM is not foreign affairs. NITCOM is diaspora affairs, as it interface with Nigerians in diaspora. It is supposed to be an agency or a directorate under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I'm sure there's
Mhm.
collaboration between the ministry and that agency. So don't look at it as a one-man show for Abika Dabiri. No, I don't think so.
Mhm. You don't think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because uh,
She might
yes.
have come out
Mhm.
looking so prominent because of her personality, and you know, a person in a position sometimes will bring his personality onto that office and actually make it more boisterous and more effective. And that's what I think
Okay.
Dabri Edewa is doing. And she's doing a very good job.
Very good. Very
Yes.
good. Okay. Thank you, Raji. Raji, let's conclude on this ministerial thing. Let's just make it
Yeah.
half of the event today. Finally, let's look into the Minister of Education. The new minister now is the woman. They want to, before the end of that's Sawamba Said, the lady with a veil. Now,
Mm.
Sawamba Said is coming from the north of Nigeria, and educationally, the north is really not catching up with the south when it comes to education. We still have more children that are out of school, more people roaming the streets, young people that should be in school. Do you think Sawaba Said will help in that ministry? Do you think she
But
will increase
if you look at the Ministry of Education, especially from the time of Jubril Aminu up to now,
I mean, yes.
yes, subsequent government have probably quoted the Ministry of Education to the north, and it is very sad thing to do for because during the ministership of Jubril Aminu, even though he's a professor of very brilliant man, Jubril Aminu, but he
Mhm.
messed up the Ministry of Education.
Try.
He messed up the Ministry of Education. There's no way you can pull down one part of the country for the other part to catch up. You can never catch up. The best thing is for you to challenge those who are lagging behind so that they can put in more effort into doing things. In the north, I stayed in Kano for more than 5 years. After my youth service, now I've traveled extensively over Kano. I've met very brilliant Hausa people who, just because they did not have the opportunity to go to school, have been condemned to a very pedestrian kind of existence. If the North could actually take it as a point that, look, we are not disadvantaged. We have the manpower. Let us improve our educational system. Let us deliberately put more effort in educating our people. But because of the feudalistic system of government of the tradition of their tradition, it's just education is given as something that they as a favor to the people, and therefore there are a few tokens that are taken outside of the so-called their oligarchy. Now, during the days of concerned professionals in education, when we are doing concerned professionals, a Hausa colleague came to give what we call came to give a testimony about how he went to school. Okay. His father is one of the advisors of the emir of his village.
Okay.
But he was not going to school. The emir's children were going to school. Okay. Because he was friends with the emir's child, he wandered to school one day, and the teacher, who knew his father, asked him what he was doing outside, and said he followed the emir's child to school. That's why he was arrested and brought to school. He started schooling with the emir's child. He ended up being a professional medical doctor, brilliant. There are so many brilliant minds that are being wasted in the North because of the wickedness of the ruling class.
Therefore, but we've also had some couple of Southerners. We remember Obi Ekwesili during Jonathan's era. Yes. Yes. Was she able to make impact relating to what you have just said about the North?
Let us look at what Jonathan even did with Almanjiri education, and how he was loved to scorn by people like Kwankwanso, that he thinks he wants to come and educate our people. That all those schools Jonathan built to stem Almanjiris, they became empty. Okay, they are empty. I went through. In fact, sometimes I feel very, very sad traveling around the North, seeing village schools that are being held under trees. Meanwhile, these people have the resources to lift their children out of poverty by giving them free education.
Raji, today you are the one educating the people, me, and it's good to hear all you're saying deep inside. So that means that the leaders, the elite group of the Northerners, are the one blocking. They probably don't want their people to be enlightened so that they can continue to suppress them.
Simple and short, is it? I will make a statement that I hold on to when he started the free education system, that he would be happier to have people who can challenge him because their intellect have been improved, than to be a leader of people who just follow him. It will interest you to know that MK Abiola was one of the students who got a free scholarship to go and study abroad. MK Abiola came back to be one of our major opponents, but that didn't disturb Awo, because he had done what he wanted to do. That he would educate his people and open their eyes.
When you're a dynamic leader, you're not intimidated by anything. You're not.
By any challenge to your
any challenge. Yes, it doesn't intimidate you. That's a sign of leadership in power.
Yes.
All right, Raji. Raji, let's
Yes.
go on a small break. Listen, I tell you, it is you that have you've done some eye-opening informations here for us today. Viewers, this is it. We're here
Thank
on
you.
our Friday events, SSM Friday International Update. We'll be back.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
A year ago, I wrote a book titled The Final Solution, and I was trying to say to the rest of the world that there are challenges ahead. Now, a prophecy did come, and that prophecy is coming to pass. But I'm telling you, the final solution has been found many years ago in the Bible, because the Bible simply says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to the people. So I want you to know that we can get solutions to problems in Ukraine, in Russia, in Nigeria, indeed all parts of the world. We need that solution, and the solution is straightforward. Please get a copy of my book. It's the Final Solution by Bishop Schengen Johnson, and you can find it in Kindle, in Amazon. Just type Bishop Schengen Johnson, The Final Solution. It's very, very small book you can read within 2 hours, but it contains the final solution. Do get a copy. Not getting it is doing disservice to humanity. Don't forget The Final Solution.
Yes, viewers, you are tuned back to Friday SSM International Update. Raji, thank you for being around. You gave us good info on the ministerial list, the new ministers. Hoping that next week they will be screened and sworn in. Yeah, let's come now to the BRICS. The BRICS is just concluded its meeting. The gathering of a country like Russia, China, and some other countries too, Turkey, a lot of them. Now, something happened there. We looked into it. Nigeria and 12 other countries joined the BRICS as partner countries. Partner. They say it's to strengthening economic ties. But we want to know what this partnership means. Why not just make them full member? Because this doesn't make them full member. Raji, tell us, BRICS and partner nations, 12 of them.
Yes, you see, before you could be admitted into BRICS, I'm sure the BRICS guys will want to look at your structure, your politics, your economics. Okay. And with the confusion that is existing in Nigeria, I would not want the BRICS to quickly admit us as full members, because it's likely that if they don't take care, we'll bring our confusion into the BRICS. So let them for some time observe us. A country that is broke, spending millions to buy fighter jets. A country that is broke, borrowing money to go and build a coastal highway. A country that is broke is borrowing money to go and be buying a new presidential jets for the country. No, I don't think BRICS should allow a country like that without any organization, without any good economics to join it. It be like carrying termite infested wood into your home, and it won't be nice. I'm sure serially they will admit people, and I'm sure the next person on their list will be maybe Turkey, because Turkey is quite organized in its economics, in its government, and its everything. The problem with Turkey may be that, okay, Turkey is actually trying to be a member of NATO, and it's becoming like Turkey is actually like a bat, not Asian, not European. You see, but I'm sure that when the push comes to shove, the BRICS people will easily admit a country like Turkey, because Turkey is organized. Turkey is organized, and then they will take on more people.
Raji, another insight there. Anyway, the group is planning to push some very strong reforms, and we see that everybody is very, very enthusiastic, very, very exciting. Everybody wants to join the BRICS. This 12 nation is not just Nigeria anyway, Raji. You know,
I know.
the 12 nation
I
include
mentioned Turkey.
Uganda, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Cuba,
Mm,
Bolivia, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand. So,
mm.
yes, we know that Nigeria is also being considered, but the partnering thing now might also be favoring these countries before they fully join.
Yeah.
Don't you think so? And like we know, the BRICS is an intergovernmental organization. But can the BRICS really face off with the West? This is the question. Can
Yes.
Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa really go ahead with because I know one of their plan is to also reduce the dependence of the US dollars as an international
Yes.
currency. But
Exchange. Yes.
can they be mutually together to pull out this whole plan?
Is it when Nixon pulled America out of the gold standard, it disrupted world economics. Now, what the American government is doing is just printing paper money, because the dollar is the standard of trade, the money for trade, the currency of trade among nations. America is the most indebted country in the world, but because their currency controls world economics, they can continue to print as much dollars as possible and make it worthless to them, but very, very of good worth to Kini. The partnership program is like an apprenticeship program, as far as I can see, so that they will take Nigeria, for instance, as an apprentice. And I'm sure Nigeria's apprenticeship will be much longer than that of Turkey, because Nigeria's economy is entirely and completely controlled by IMF and the World Bank.
Yes.
And a country that is not economically independent will be very difficult to bring into a group of people who want to be cut off from the dominance of the Bretton Woods organizations, and from the dominance of the dollar as a currency of trade. We heard rumors about Nigeria, considering the amount of the volume of business we do with China. There's no reason why Nigeria's naira will first go to dollar before it now gets into yuan. There should be a direct one-on-one relationship between the naira and the yuan. Yes, without going through the interpretation of what the value of the naira should be against the yuan. No, we shouldn't base it on that.
Okay.
But then
now
we knew that at that point. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead. While the BRICS is looking like they are forming strong ties among themselves, The other side is looking very weak. Now, UK is posed with this situation of reparation. Slave reparations is a headache for them now. They said countries. That's why some of these African countries are seeking to align with China, Russia, so that because they said the Western, the United Kingdom, and even America have dealt with them severely in the colonial era. Too many colonial crimes were committed. So, do you think that this whole thing could really play out for the BRICS when we see countries like Uganda wanting to join the BRICS? We see countries like Kenya, many of the African countries they want to be part. You think this whole thing will yes, at the moment, reparation is the talk. The talk facing Sastema is UK should pay money to many of these countries in the Caribbean, in Africa, countries that were dealt with during the colonial crime era. Tell me, what did you say?
Those who are asking for reparations from Britain want to kill Britain, want to kill the UK, because the amount of reparation that India alone would demand from Britain will go into trillions, because of the wickedness that the British did to the Indian economy. And I can see how the Indians have been able to come out of adversity and are now actually controlling the economy of Britain, because almost all British companies have been taken over by Indian affiliates, Indian companies. You know,
so that's like indirect reparation. You know, taking over.
Well,
yeah.
I love the way the Indians systematically took over Britain. You see, now I don't think we should push that reparation thing too far.
Okay.
I don't think that we should push it far. I think that a lot of humility is required from the United States UK government to look on all the all the colonies they formed around the world, all the colonies they went to around the world, and sincerely apologize to the people.
Okay.
Sincerely apologize to the people, and then to decide that they are now going to lift their legs off their throat, because for most of those countries, the British foot is still on their throat.
The British foot is still on their throat. Now, Raji, one interesting thing happened at the BRICS meeting that was concluded yesterday, and that was that the Russian president, Putin came out and said, yes, he welcomes U.S. President candidate Trump's comment to end fighting in Ukraine. He said that comment Trump made is sincere, but he also warned the West while he was speaking that it's an illusion for them to think that Moscow could be defeated on the battlefield, and he told them to back off. You know, any peace deal, he said, yes, will be recognized. This looked like good outing for Putin, and this also looks like a good one for diplomacy, bilateral diplomacy with America and with Russia if Trump comes in, because what this shows is Putin has respect for Trump. He has regard. He has, he sees him as an ally, somebody to work with. For him to say the talk of ending this war from Trump is a sincere talk. Tell me, what do you say about all of this?
No, but historically, in the last 200 or in the last almost 300 years, there has never been a decade in which the American America did not start a war outside its territory. There have only been two decades, two presidents in the history of America, in the history of the United States, who did not start a war during their own time in office, and that is President Carter and President Trump. As a matter of fact, Carter could not get a second term because he stopped. In fact, he wanted to bring back all American troops outside of America and bring them and stop every war that America was involved in, which was the same thing that Trump did, and for which he did not get a second time. But I'm sure he's going to get a second time now, because I'm praying that if for nothing else, I'm praying that Trump will win the elections and will stop all the meddlesomeness of the United States in the affairs of other countries, especially to stop the war in Ukraine, which was very, very unnecessary in the first instance. There was no reason, there was no way that Putin was going to start a war with Ukraine, because Ukraine is a part and parcel of the old USSR. And Ukraine was more or less like the base for all the Russian armaments.
Yes.
Because Ukraine controls the only one port that Russia has, and therefore there was no way that Russia was going to allow it. And in fact, there was an agreement that was about to be signed until Boris Johnson was sent in to destroy the whole thing. And the comedian Zelensky thought it was a joke, and then followed Boris Johnson. And therefore, Putin has no option.
Yes, Putin has no option. And he ended up the meeting, the BRICS meeting, with that statement from saying that he welcomes the U.S. president candidate's comments to end that war, and that's Trump. So let's hope that Trump comes in and strengthening this international or global diplomacy, global
peace.
Thank you.
Yes. Because that's what we need.
That's the word. Yes. Okay. There's a small news we would have done on the American. There's a case running. George isn't here, but a California lawyer has recommended this. There are two brothers. In the 80s, there was a crime, one big crime, where two brothers shot their parents, Menendez. Recently again, their case have been brought up. They said they should be retried. Resentenced also for killing their parents. But some people are saying they've served their 30 years, almost 30 years now, and should be let go. So George isn't here. Anyway, that's a story happening in the United States now. It's all over the media space. The two brothers, Eric and Lai Menendez, killing their parents in 1989. Yeah, that's it. We will look at that story, if they'll be retried or if they'll be let loose to live their life, because they served 30 years already behind bars. So let's go on. Raji, let's come to something happening in Lagos, in Nigeria, Port Harcourt. The 3 dead people in that helicopter crash. The presidency is saying there should be a probe into that whole thing. What's that story, Raji? Bring our people up to date.
Yeah, the details I got was that there was a helicopter crash. In the 8 people are involved. 3 bodies have been recovered so far. I'm not sure about what has happened to the remaining 5. But I thought that the crash was in the sea. But what I'm seeing is it seems as if it was on land.
Yes, we saw pictures of the land, or maybe it happened in the sea, and they brought it out to the land.
Okay.
Yes, maybe that was what happened. So yes, so the president is saying there should be an investigation to that crash, The search and the rescue operation is still ongoing to find now it's dead bodies.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, sir. I think we should de-emphasize so much about the president said this, the president did this, the president did that, because this is an issue for the NCAA to investigate. So the president does not have to put his mouth in this matter.
Okay.
An agency is there to do it, so it's not the president who is now going to give instructions. I think we should stop. We should stop that before we make a dictator out of our president.
Make a dictator out of our president. Okay, let's come again to another in Pakistan. We have that Iran Khan. One time, Prime Minister of Pakistan. You know, him and the wife were jailed. They were jailed early this year for 17 years in prison. They said they were selling state gifts. They were selling things meant for the state, items meant for the state, and these items were running to 140 million rupees. So that's about $500,000. So they were jailed for this. Yesterday, the wife was released, and now they want people are saying the man should also be released. Do you have any story on Iran Khan?
Imran Khan was a rich man before he even ventured into politics, and so whatever accusation against him is just political vendetta.
Okay, to block him.
I'm so disgusted by Pakistani politics. You see, anytime an issue comes out in Pakistan, I compare them to India. They had their independence the same day. And then look at the progress that India has made with their stability in the politics. And look at the way Pakistan is still ongoing. It's still ongoing. So every time there have been more than 10 military takeovers in Pakistan. There has not been one military takeover in India. India is stable. India is making progress.
India is stable. India is making progress. Wow. Good one. All right, let's come to a little on science and space. A communication satellite that is being engineered and powered by the aerospace company Boeing disintegrated yesterday in orbit. And when such disintegration happens, we know a lot spills down. You know, you have all these things falling down on Earth, planet Earth. And so what we're saying is Boeing is losing its power. Boeing already is having issues with this flight. Now the satellites they were good at engineering before is disintegrating. What do you know about this story, Raji? Boeing.
The problem with Boeing was looking at the bottom line instead of looking at their core issues. When an accountant was made the head of Boeing, all that he did, all that he was concerned about was the money coming in, and therefore even their R&D, research and development was stepped down. The quality of their planes have been a problem. The latest one, which was the 737 MAX, has been problematic up to now, and it has caused them so much. Same thing with their engineering now has come under suspicion, and that I'm sure that in a short while they will have to cede. If Boeing wasn't an American company funded by American taxpayers, Boeing would have been unbundled by now. And then by now, and then probably all that they were doing would have been taken over by Elon Musk, whose satellites are becoming very more and more stable,
efficient,
and more efficient. Yes, in fact, he has a system where the booster can the rocket into space and then come back to the same place where he left, instead of
Now,
the booster being destroyed. Yes.
now
So
let's talk
it's now
about
become reusable.
yeah, let's talk about also the environmental harm. When these satellites disintegrate in space, it comes back to us here with debris scattered everywhere, and they are the ones talking about pollution and all that. Tell me.
No. Is it the bits that will come to Earth will be so small, and the space they will cover will be so wide that it will not be so impactful. In fact, most of the debris may end up in the sea.
Okay. Yes. Chances
away from away from population.
Land. Okay. Good one, Raji. Raji, this is beautiful, but we have to go. It's been fun hearing you educate us and put some light into a lot of things.
I'm not educating. I'm not educating anybody. I'm just putting up information that I have that anybody else will have. Yes. So it's not a matter of educating.
But your views are good. It sounds cogent. Yes, and we can understand it. Yes, so Reggie, what's this thing about? They say the naira remains. That changed naira. What's that story there yesterday? We heard CBN was saying that people should not be bothered about any all these color change they did and all that. Tell us, what was that? Let's go with that.
There's a doctrine of inverse relevance.
Okay.
That is in government. The more government says it's not going to do something, the more likely it is going to do it. So when
oh dear, I think we lost
when the
Raji.
CBN.
Okay. Yes, Raji, go ahead. Okay, viewers, he has done pretty much for us this morning. Somehow you know how network works, how the internet sometimes funny. So anyway, we've done our thing. Friday international update. Raji has been very, very, very useful, giving great insights into the topics. So until we come again next week, Monday we'll be starting our news between the line update. Until then, have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy the weekend, and please stay safe. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.